Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of AIW's The Card is Going to Change. Before we get into this week's episode, we want to give that shout out to our sponsors that help us bring the show to you for free each and every week on whatever way that you download and listen to our show. Thanks to Angelo's Pizza, taking care of us, feeding us as always, and bringing pizza to the shows so that you can enjoy it at the live events. If you want to try something other than their pizza or something other than cheese and pepperoni, head to Angelo's on Madison Avenue in Lakewood, Ohio. Thanks, of course, to Pollyanna DIY, who provides us with specialized merchandise for some of our shows. They can do things like that for you and all sorts of other items for sale that you can just purchase. So check out Pollyanna DIY. And thanks to Smart Mark Video, who's there at every live event that we have to record it so that if you miss it or you just want to watch it back, you can purchase it on DVD or download a digital version of it at smartmarkvideo.com. And speaking of digital downloads and streaming, thanks to independentwrestling.tv, sign up using the promo code ABSOLUTE and experience a 20-day free trial. Watch all sorts of old historic AIW shows as well as multiple other promotions on there as well. And with that, we'll get into, well, our regularly scheduled programming that we usually have here on AIW, talking about different shows that we have run and different things that we go through when running those. This week, we're joined by Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham.
Boo.
Alex Worldwide Keller.
Worldwide.
The UXWA champion, Big Juan Tucker.
Man, what's going on, man?
You know there's going to be a lot of energy on this because the man is always woke. And, of course, AIW owner John Thorne, as always.
I don't know. He sounded kind of sleepy.
He did sound sleepy there, yeah. But he's awake nonetheless. And, of course, my name is Steve Guy, your moderator of sorts. So on this episode, we're going to talk about our very first show of 2019, Hail to the King. It took place in beautiful Akron, Ohio.
Hail to the King, baby.
My apologies. Good call, Worldwide. Hail to the King, baby. This is what, our third time in Akron?
Yes, number three.
Number 3.
Lucky number 3.
And
Third time, a charm. Didn't need it, really, but you know.
Well,
Charm nonetheless.
Yes.
charm nonetheless. The day led off with the new talent initiative that we ran, and we'll cover that on a different episode, its own episode, really. But
this day sucked for me.
It was possibly
For you, it
Thorne's
did,
worst
yeah.
day of ever.
Yeah.
But I was surprisingly just calm about it.
you were
all.
chill about it all. It was pretty good. I was
so
impressed.
So well, first off, we booked Harley Race for the event, which I talked about it last week with Rick Nelson, but it was just one of those things where it's like, let's just book Harley Race, let's go for it. I don't know how much longer
Get them while we got them.
Harley Race is going to be able to do this, so because I don't know, Ricky Steamboat did so good in Akron,
Right.
and then the Con did fairly well in Akron.
There's a lot of old-time wrestling fans in that Akron area for whatever reason.
Right, so I was like, this might be the spot to do Harley Race. So, we went and did Harley Race, and we get to the event. Well, I get to the venue early because we're doing the new talent initiative, and they're doing warm-ups and stuff. So I ended up recording a podcast with Mikey Blanton from Black Label Pro, and then I get done and I went, fuck. Harley Race's 8x10s are sitting on my kitchen table. And what is frustrating about this is, if this happened any other day, it would be a 10-minute drive to my house to get these 8x10s. No problem. Akron is an hour away from my house. So there's a problem, and I'm like, well, at least I remembered, and it's only, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to go and I'm going to get them and I'll be back. So I embark on my 2-hour round trip. I get home.
Well,
I grab
2 hours scheduled.
Scheduled. I get home. I get my 8x10s. And I get back on the highway, and I'm about at the halfway point, and my car just shuts off on the highway.
Not ideal.
And I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, so I called Dr. Dan because he's a doctor of cars.
Yeah.
And well, it stalls out, you know what I mean? And then I start it and I get it off the highway and I get it in the parking lot. And I tell him what's going on. And he's like, oh, I called Dan and he's like, maybe try putting some oil in it. So I go into a gas station. I buy a bunch of quarts of oil. I put oil in it. It starts. Go okay. There's lights still on it, but I'm driving it around in circles in the parking lot. And, it's going
Right.
So I'm like, I let it run for a little bit, and so I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know how cars work. Maybe though, it needed some oil and it's got to, start, pumping through the engine or whatever.
What's the worst that could happen?
Right.
Right.
So, I get back on the highway, make it half an exit, and it does it again. And I coast off the highway and like into this parking lot, and then my car just doesn't start again. And I sit on the side of the road for 2.5 hours.
I don't know about the second Akron show, but I remember at the first Akron show, I drove the truck down, and I got down there and like met up with Pedro in the parking lot, and he's like, "Is the engine smoking?" And I was like, "I don't know, I didn't notice." And he looks and he's like, "Oh yeah, this thing's fucking overheating like crazy." And I was like, "Whoa!" But like that all ended up fine. So maybe we have like an every other show curse.
I don't know, but I just sit, and I'm just like, fuck. Like I have the 8x10s. I'm missing this entire tryout that I'm
Right.
supposed to be watching. And I just have to sit there. You know what I mean? Like there's literally nothing I can do because I can't leave my car. It's like not in a parking spot. I'm still 35 minutes away from the show. And luckily, somebody had AAA, so I was able to be like, hey, come tow my car. And then I get picked up and, I grab the 8x10s out of my car and on to the show I go.
My day didn't start so hot either. I occasionally from time to time get like the debilitating migraines where I can't do anything. And about 6 a.m, I woke up with one, and it was not good. There was honestly a point where I thought I'm going to have to shoot you guys a text message and be like, somebody tell Pedro to get the suit because I don't know that I'm making this.
Well, let me tell you something, because I forget whether I think I had like a security shift the night before. So like basically I didn't get out, and like I worked like a double basically the night before. But I got home, like did the thing. I think I was asleep by 5, and I was planning on like waking up around like 10:30 or 11 and like rolling up, much to Dom's dismay, because I was threatening to rock my like the coach like John Tolos outfit and like walk around with a clipboard and generally look like I'm judging people in the tryout, which Dom was very much against. But I don't know. So I don't know. Maybe Dom fucked around with my alarm clock, or I think I blamed Dr. Dan or the Duke on it on Instagram. I was like, someone hacked my phone. Da, 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 da. So I just woke up at like 1:30.
Like, you texted me at like 1:45. You're like, I hate you, but also I just woke up.
Yeah, and fucking hey brother, I always gotta hate you. And so like I just woke up and fucking immediately was just screaming. Like it was like a fucking like 1 minute long scream, and I walk out into the goddamn living room. Weird Body in his bedroom at the time, fucking still dead asleep, and I'm just like, wake the fuck up, we gotta go. And he's just like, because of course he wasn't gonna fucking wake me up. He was gonna take advantage for all the goddamn sleep he could get.
Right.
So yeah, everyone having some issues to start the day off.
Yeah, it sucked.
Rough day.
But at the venue, ring got put together perfectly. Tryout started on time, or maybe a tad early. Everything was rolling at the show. So
Well, that's great news.
at least we have a. It took a while, but now we have a good enough crew where we can run it almost hands off for at least the majority of it.
I was like, normally like I would have been fucking losing my mind, but I was like, I don't know. I was not mad about it at all. Like, I don't know. I was like,
Every time we get on the phone, seemed like you were just very calm. I'm like, I'm expecting more yelling, but it was.
Dr. Dan's basically telling me my engine probably blew up, and I'm just like, what
hey,
the fuck can I do?
shit happens,
like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, this sucks, but I have to get to the show somehow, and I have to fucking figure out how to fucking handle Harley Race. You know what I mean? Like,
I was vomiting until like 3:30 in the
I was bummed out too because you
was
had dangled
bad.
the carrot of possibly me and Magnum podcasting with Brother Race. So I speed read his book because I got it. Like,
well, that was part of the arrangement, which my car fucking up fucks everything up because we were supposed to get a video interview and do a podcast with him, but I wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't get there until doors.
Did you arrange that with his son?
Yes, that's well, whoever I was dealing with.
The gentleman that was there with him.
Yes. So, you know, that all goes out the window, but it's like, you know, again, as a promoter, you got to pick your battles. It's like, do I want to start the meet and greet, or do I want to do this podcast with Harley Race? So it's like,
oh yeah,
you got to get the meet and greet going, which then the show has to start late because
We
the
started
meet
about a half an hour
A
late.
solid half hour.
Yeah. We went at 8 as opposed to 7:30.
Yeah.
It might
And the
have
line
been
was
after
still
8.
long.
Yeah, we had to cut it off.
we cut
Like,
it off.
It was crazy. It was crazy. But you know, that made the show suffer. But hey, let's make money, baby. If you're making money, you got to make the money. You know, like it's
That was our most successful meet and greet of all time, right?
yeah. That's what Pedro said. That was by far the most successful meet and greet we ever did. Harley Race, you know, above and beyond. So I understand that, you know, that the lateness, and then we do it again in intermission, and then there's a long intermission. That fucks the show quality up, but I don't, you know, you got to make the money if you're making the money, you know, like especially at that point to where it's like we're raising money for WrestleMania weekend.
Right.
Plus, there were people that traveled
Yeah.
Traveled far.
during the fucking tryout. At one point in time, some dude just like walked in, and I like went up to him. I was like, "Hey man, you here for the show?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, doors aren't gonna open until about like 6. And he's like, "All right, I just drove like 6 hours." And I was just like, "Holy shit!"
Just to see Harley Race.
Harley Race, man, you know, so
Bunch of Harley racists out there. Wait, that's probably not a good.
Yeah, I don't know. If
That's not the name for the Harley Race fandom.
Whoa, hold on.
That's not woke.
I'm amazed no band has ever taken that name, but that's me. Maybe
Okay.
Wow.
cutting that out.
I kid.
So we did have the new talent initiative. It went well. After the Harley Race thing all happens, and maybe this was a little bit of an advantage because we end up putting guys on the show who obviously didn't know going into the day that they were going to be on the show, let alone who they would be working. And so that did give them a little bit of extra time to prepare because we had those guys within 2 of the first 3 matches.
we ended up booking 10 guys from the tryout on the show,
Which is a third. Which how many tryouts and do independents run across the country that they use a third of the tryout on one show?
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
and
right.
you know, there's and now some guys have, you know, they're finding their ways on different shows, you know what I mean? So it's like some guys maybe are just located too far out to use on a consistent basis, but there was like tons of potential, and I didn't see it, but this is all coming from, you know, Dom and Matt Justice and Magnum CK and Matt Wadsworth and Duke, you know, and all sorts of people were there, and you know, I had to leave it in Pedro and Dan was there, and I had to leave it in everyone else's hands to figure it out because I didn't get to see it. So like, you know, when I arrive at basically doors, they're saying like, "Hey, do you have a problem with it?" I'm like, and I said, I did not see it at all. So, you know, if you guys think they should be on, put them on.
So we roll into match 1, and it's PME taking on the production with Eddie Only and Derek Director as a tag team, and then 2 teams that come out of this new talent initiative. The team of Boomer Hatfield and Travis Huckabee, they get thrown together, and Camaro and Mike Outlaw, who are 2 guys that actually wrestle in teams,
St. Louis, yeah.
but not together.
No.
So they're thrown on together as a tag team for the first time ever from talking to them. And so same with Boomer and Travis Huckabee. So
I was very impressed with Boomer in his tryout match.
Boomer, I think that was like, I know we're like it's a part of a tryout, but putting Boomer and a guy that debuts later on, Michael Austin Wardlow, together in the tryout, which is the variation of sizes was like, that was, I think like the most intriguing part of seeing like what they could do.
But
like Boomer like totally impressed, and I've seen some of his stuff from Chikara and Huckabee as well, and then I've like been on shows with Mike Outlaw and Camaro, and like they're definitely talents that are rising around.
Now, before I even tell you that this was an excellent 4-way tag match and really didn't skip a beat in terms of what an AIW 4-way tag is, because the fans were pumped about it, this did kick things off with Camaro and Mike Outlaw getting some hatred from the fan base that they did not anticipate.
They weren't ready.
There were people who had no idea who these guys
poor
were.
Guys. as soon as I heard that, I went, "Oh, you guys are."
The music
you poor
begins.
guys.
Oh, first of all, they had no idea, and they picked this on their own.
Yeah.
What?
They
Yeah.
not even they picked it on their own.
I thought it was a rib.
No, it wasn't.
No, not even at all.
They picked this song because one of them, I don't remember which, but I think comes out to it in St. Louis. So it's probably not a big deal there. But in Northeast Ohio, you can't come out to We Ready because nobody's ready.
Nobody's ready.
And immediately the crowd
You
wanting...
just blew Worldwide's mind. He's leaving right now.
I know.
He's a restaurant.
The crowd immediately wanting
I'm here
cult favorite Razor Sharp. And when he did not walk through those curtains, they booed.
The Boo Birds came out.
They came out hard. And these poor guys were like, "What? Why does everybody hate us already?" And I was like, yeah, that's... You guys shouldn't have used that song.
The best part is when the music stops and you just hear one person in the crowd go, "You are not Razor Sharp." And they look at each other with the most confused looks on their face. I went back and purposely watched this match to watch the reactions of the people in the ring.
Uh-huh.
Derek almost fell
Derek
over.
was losing
He
it
almost fell over laughing.
Because he even, as soon as the music hits, he looked at me. He's like, "Is Razor Sharp coming out? Razor Sharp?" I'm like, "Come on, you know who's coming out. You know it's not Razor Sharp."
It was unreal.
Meanwhile, I'm looking at Razor Sharp in the crowd, and he is just like
In all his glory.
all his glory.
they're chanting for him. He's
They are ready.
soaking it in.
What's going on? Hold on.
They wanted it so bad. But as I said, as a match, this was excellent. I thought you guys did a great job picking people who would go in it. Boomer Hatfield and Travis, I don't know that... Now I said that they have never been a team before, but it sure didn't seem like it. Maybe they have, because they were seamless as a team. They were pretty fantastic together.
They almost mostly wrestle in tag teams, because I know like
But together?
they so I think like the tag team mindset of them knowing how to work off of another person, I think that works well because they both wrestle in tag teams all the time.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun to watch, and I know the crowd really enjoyed them. So that's that match. And then we roll into our ladies' match of the evening. Brit Baker and Tasha Steele. What was that, Swan?
Say it again.
That match was lit, man. Oh,
It was what?
that match was lit.
It was lit?
That line at intermission was lit.
I know that you say no more, but I need you to say more. We're on a podcast here.
Oh,
Say not less.
Yeah. Say more.
I mean,
You like Tasha Steele, did you?
yeah.
That's what we're getting at here?
Yeah, she a fine woman. I'll tell you that. Like, hold on. I was like,
Did you watch
What's Brit? Chopped liver?
Yeah.
man, I ain't gonna disrespect Brit, man. She got a boy, out of go,
Speaking of long intermission meet and greet lines, like Worldwide said, Brit's was that was pretty hefty right there.
Yeah, that was. She told me how much money she made. She was rivaling Harley Race.
You didn't even want to pay her, did you?
She was rivaling Harley Race.
You're like, why do you need any money?
Right.
You just made it all right there.
Yeah, this is Tasha Steele was a girl that was on the one of the final G&O events, and there was just an opportunity to do something. Brit is obviously probably not going to be available too much longer for shows, so I wanted to at least try to get her on something. And this date made the most sense, so that's what led us to this match.
And it was good. It was fun to watch. Tasha Steele's, man, she's little, but she packs a punch, man. She throws hard. I don't know if you can handle that, Twan.
I felt bad in the locker room in the back. They were like right by like the one fire exit door, So the few heater rippers in the locker room were constantly going in and out of the thing, and it was pretty chilly outside.
Oh, what gentleman you are.
I need to hurry up, take a picture with Brick Baker real quick. Hold on.
Oh, you didn't get one that day, huh?
I ain't get one that day, man.
Man,
What's
what were you
going on?
thinking?
I'm not woke right now, man.
Yeah, ever the opportunist for
Right.
selfies.
Man, say
Swan
less.
Tucker. The next one we roll into, we talked about the new talent initiative, and this is it. This is the main one that comes out of that, a 6-way scramble. And for a lot of these guys, they probably haven't really done a scramble like this before, I gotta think, because this is kind of an AIW special.
Yeah, and you can kind of tell after it that it was good, but if there would have been like a veteran AIW scramble guy in there, they could have just tightened it up and made it so much better.
So we have Matt Kenway, Kevin Bennett, Logan Easton Leroux, Lee Moriarty, Cabana Man Dan, and Michael Austin Wardlow.
Yeah, and these, I knew nothing about these guys at all, until it was showtime, because I had, I missed the entire tryout.
Admittedly, Lee Moriarty is a guy that was somewhat on your radar. I think you'd mentioned you kind of knew who he was, at least.
I knew
maybe from Dom.
I
from
knew.
Dan.
Well, I knew who he was because he did the Ultimo Dragon seminar,
Right. Okay.
and Ultimo Dragon liked him the most out of everybody that was there. So that's how I knew him. I did not know him before the Ultimo Dragon seminar.
Okay.
Other than from Ultimo Dragon pulling me aside and talking to me about him.
That's high praise.
Yeah, he was the guy that Ultimo Dragon liked the most. So that's how I knew who he was. So when we did this new talent initiative, I was pretty interested to see how he would do when he registered for it. The other guys, I didn't know a lot about the other guys. I knew Michael Austin Wardlow, and I told him, I said, out of 35 people, I considered him number 36. He had the most to prove because he has the most natural tools, and when you have so much of that going for you, the majority of those people, 9 times out of 10, are not easy to work with.
Right.
So he had kind of a lot stacked against him.
As you and I talked about with Rick Nelson, the more Tito's and water John Thorne gets, the more transparent he becomes.
And I told him that, after the fact, I 100% told him that he proved me wrong.
Yeah.
And I could admit that. But he's done other things locally, and it's just kind of like, you just kind of, if you have success other places, it's sometimes it's going to make it harder.
Right.
Because, this is a tryout situation. This isn't like a booking situation. So, I felt that he could have had an attitude problem because he is the top guy in other, promotions, within driving distance to, AIW. So, and I couldn't have been more wrong. He did good.
Definitely more on him later.
And
Easy to get along with.
Well, this is what I'll say. I will say he was the only guy, and I understand that a lot of guys traveled from all over, but he was the only guy that came to the after party and tried to I guess mingle with the AIW regular roster and kind of
Yeah, he tried to fully ingratiate himself into
I don't
what
think he tried
AIW is
anything.
about.
I got along with him swimmingly.
Yeah, he was very easy to get along with.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm
Oh,
saying
yeah.
But he
he's
was-
the only guy that came and
Oh, yeah,
attempted,
yeah, for sure.
to take part. And
attempted
everything.
to put himself out there like that, and in that situation. But and it's gotten him more bookings. So
He was, in terms of our audience, and I would say we have some pretty smart fans out there, and they're cognizant of what's going on in the independent scene, or have seen a lot of people. So Lee got a solid reaction. They knew who he was. They knew who Michael Austin Wardlow was, and they were all big fans of the flip flop chop.
Let me tell
from
you
Cabana
something.
Man Dan.
My mom, Sweet Mama Worldwide, came to this show,
Uh-huh.
made the trek, And I asked her, I like met up with her during intermission, and I was like, "Oh, what do you think of the show so far?" And she's like, the flip flop chop. I loved that. Like that was like the only thing that stuck out from her.
I just gave Cabana Man Dan another date. I put him on the May 25th Goldhorn Brewery show.
There you go.
So
Flip flop chop.
Well, Mrs. Baba Worldwide, all about the flip flop chop.
There you go.
That the first time people see that, it's like unreal the reaction it gets, just because it's super loud. I saw Cabana Man Dan the first time at a IWA show, him against Trey, and I didn't know it was coming, and neither did Trey. It was the loudest thing I've ever heard, and his face was just. It was not prepared for it.
So Wardlow and I were talking about this at the after party as we're trying to like dissect the legality of the flip flop chop during the course of any normal basic match. And I was like, well, technically it's not a foreign object because it's his footwear, right? So like you would use your boot to kick somebody or whatever. So it's like it's kind of.
I feel like once it's off your foot though, then. That's a whole other can of beans.
What about people that wear gloves? What if you take the glove off and like slap someone with it? It's the same thing.
Or when people have the wrist.
Yeah, but it's going to have less impact than if it were on your fist.
Nah. I mean, he's got it in his hand,
All right, say you're a
too.
boxer and you take off your boxing glove and then you slap somebody with a boxing glove. Is that going to be better than a left hook? I mean, in theory, it's just hitting somebody with a shoe more or less than kicking somebody in the head. I don't know. You can get a lot of force out of your foot.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's, again, if you have wrist tape and you use that kind of to...
Oh, well, then...
That's choky. That's different. We're talking apples to oranges now.
You at least get the 5 count. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. It's a gray area.
Well, who's
discretion.
the referee for that match?
Is
that on Cage Match?
Was that Potato?
I think it was one of the tryout referees, actually.
It was.
You're right. It was.
Well,
I forgot we had 2
We even
tryout
booked
referees.
tryout referees, so we booked more than 10 people.
Yeah. We had 2 tryout referees in this.
The best tryout referee was when you asked the guy what if you wanted to say his name, and he said, nah.
No.
he's ready for that Fed run.
That was that first match. Everybody
Nah.
who's the new ref. No, I'm like, good for you.
Matt Canaway also in this, and Logan
Easton LaRue and Kevin Bennett, yeah.
Yeah, all did very well.
They all did very well, yeah.
Everybody in this match did very well.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to as we do more of these, I guess other shows, like it gives the opportunity to book more of these guys, and these guys should be a wake up call to the current AIW students that these guys are coming for all your spots.
Yeah, that's true.
They're coming for your spots. If
Stay woke, Big Twan Tucker.
yeah, well, we'll get to Big Twan later in his performances, but
Oh man, what you trying to say?
I'm saying these guys
They're coming for it.
these guys are coming for your spots, man.
Because
Because
spread them on site, bro. Stop playing with me.
Hey,
Come
well,
on now.
I'm saying they're coming for your spots.
All right, he's on site.
They're hungry.
They're hungry. They're hungrier than you guys, I think. You guys, we've been being too nice to you students, I think.
Damn, won't you tell me, man? Hold on, man. You gotta let me know.
Saying it here.
Big
Keep
Twan,
me woke, man.
Big Twan. I thought you'd get the message when you weren't on Wrestle Rave or Slumber Party Massacre, brother.
Yeah,
but
I heard.
I guess not.
No, I got the message. Don't worry.
So we roll in the next match, and there were a pair of basically pick your opponent's poison matches on this evening, and Josh Bishop decides old Dominic Guarini is going to have to take on Kevin Thorne.
Yeah, and this is all based on when young Josh Bishop was a rookie, and that J-Lit Kevin Thorne did. Kevin
That's
Thorne
right.
taking him under his wing in Mahals, and
He was a big fan. He was a big fan of young Josh Bishop. vice versa.
showing him the ropes in the bar. And Josh Bishop looks at Kevin Thorne as a mentor of sorts.
Yeah, and it was
He's from the Dirty 330 too.
He is, well, he's got family. Yeah, his dad built some big sign out there or something.
yeah. Oh yeah, at
High school.
at the high school that he went to. Archbishop Hoban, yep.
Yep.
Dr. Dan, you keep track of this. Did anybody get hit with a trash can in this Kevin Thorne match?
Yes.
Dom definitely got hit with a trash can. He also got put in a trash can, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe that's
Kevin
accurate.
Thorne just keeps it rolling.
He after being hit by one of those trash cans from him, yeah, that's
Did
not a
anyone
good
get
day in
tossed into the
office.
rails really, really hard?
I'm sure.
Probably. So.
They went around that whole building. Everything was used.
They were everywhere. The real estate badass. Kevin
Maybe even
Thorne.
the koi pond, if I'm not if I remember correctly.
They were near the koi pond. You're
Okay.
right. I don't know if anybody went in it.
Kevin Thorne's first match in 6 months, he told me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, he's making that money on the real estate market.
That's what he said. He said
Do you
the
love
real-
those advertisements? Have you watched them?
He said the real estate game is just taking over his life.
I love his little ads that he puts out. They're great, man. From there, we go into... Well, this one we had a little debut. Zach Thomas took on Danhausen from the production, old Wes Barkley, and Takeshi Minamino.
Michinoku Pro.
And he was brought in with us through Kiku, correct?
Yeah, Kikutaro, who drove. They drove from Oklahoma.
10 fucking hours.
10 fucking hours. His idea.
His idea, yeah.
Because he says when Japanese come from Japan, he likes to show them how big America really is. So they drove from Vegas to Oklahoma, Oklahoma to Akron. They stopped at Swenson's and then drove Akron back to Vegas.
Oh man,
That wild.
he was impressive though. I liked this guy, Minamino. He could do some cool stuff, and he kind of worked with these guys seamlessly, and it was a fun little 4-way dance that we had going on there. Zach Thomas did his thing and was just brutal and threw down some power. Danhausen was Danhausen, and nobody missed a beat really.
Danhausen, I will say, much like the Eddie Only and Derek Director, these guys were all dead in the water, with the Magnum CK, and they just started producing content and kind of producing interesting content to where, now this gets Danhausen, on the show sort of thing. And, it seems to be working. So, Danhausen wasn't supposed to be on the show initially, and then he starts making all these videos and doing all this stuff. So it goes to show sometimes, if creative has nothing for you, pitch something and get a little creative.
There you go.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. He be scaring me, man.
Danhausen scares you?
Yeah, bro. He be in my nightmares.
You're like-
bro. Like, hold on.
7 times his size, but he
Man,
makes you nervous,
still,
huh?
bro.
I gotta say, his casual attire is something else. He's on like these weird black tunic things.
I know, bro. I can't even talk to this dude, bro. He don't sound. I don't know, man.
Is it the face paint that scares
Yeah,
you?
man. We put that on. It's over. Like,
Freaks
I,
you out,
I
huh?
can't talk to you no more, man.
You follow him on social media?
Sadly, I do. I don't know why. I question.
I know
myself.
why you do.
Why?
No, I'm not going to say it on this podcast.
All right, say less.
Not on air.
All right.
Dr.
don't know
Dan
what
knows
you
what I'm
mean.
talking about. Dr. Dan knows.
Oh, you acting different. Hold on.
No, that's not what
you
I'm
acting
saying,
different.
Big
Hold
Swan.
on.
That's not what I'm
He's talking
saying.
about his hot wife.
Oh, I ain't gonna speak about that. He gonna pop in my dreams. Like, what you say, boy?
Pop into your dreams. What?
I don't know. No, I ain't gonna lie. No, I ain't gonna say. I ain't gonna say.
You don't want to
All
speak
right.
too many. You don't want to speak too much on there.
No, I ain't.
Because then he will haunt your dreams, huh?
I know.
That's what you're nervous
Gonna
about?
pop up.
All right.
Like, what's up?
All right.
Oh,
Waking nightmares.
Yeah.
Well, say no more on that.
Say no
then,
more.
Tron.
I just watched Us last night, man. I'm cool.
Oh, yeah.
That movie Us, man.
That's the new Peel movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one scared you?
Yeah.
You think Danhausen's going to pull an us on you?
More than that.
More than that. All right.
Speaking of other movies, so one time PB thought my aunt was going to get out him. I just want to get that on the podcast now.
Thought that your aunt was going
Yep.
to? Oh.
Yep. We went down to North Carolina for a booking,
Mm-hmm.
and my aunt's like, oh, hey, go, she gave us was making a steak. So I went out there, started the grill, and was cleaning it out,
Yeah.
cleaning it off to start making them. And PB and my aunt lives in a nicer neighborhood, North Carolina. PB Smooth walks outside, looks at me and goes, hey, Dan, is your aunt going to get out me? Just the straightest face I've ever seen in my life. And I just go,
Like, why would you? But
go
what would
back
it
in the
tell you?
house. That's all I told him. I
If
was
that
like,
was the
no.
situation, you wouldn't be telling him.
No. I was just looking at him like, he's like, I just saw that movie. I got to know.
Wait a minute, Twan. Quick movie question.
What's up?
You seen Sorry to Bother You?
Sorry to bother you.
That just seems like a no.
That's a no. It's on Hulu. Watch it and get it
Oh
back
my
to
God.
me.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, with the
I did.
fucking
Oh my God. he
that
turned
third
into a
act is a
goddamn
motherfucker, huh?
Motherfucker. Horace. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? My God.
it's a wild one.
I don't know what you guys are talking
It's on Hulu. You'll like it.
Dan,
Oh my
PB at least
God.
didn't. He didn't weigh his food though, did he? at your aunt's house?
He did not use a greasy, disgusting scale to weigh his steak. No.
Guys, let's
that's
just
good.
not talk about
All right, sorry.
any of
about
that.
He that shall not be named.
It's in the rearview mirror.
It's all over
that.
God bless
As are
in
we, it
Beantown.
turns out.
for now.
All right, so we move on to the match of the night for many in this room. The Weird World teaming up with Kikutaro and Ryder Reed to take on Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham, the Duke, and the party never ends.
I don't
with
know if it
Parker
was-
Pierce and Big Twan Tucker.
I don't know if it was the match of the night, but it was the match of their night.
That's why. That's what I was.
This is
alluding to.
true. I got to say this right here, right now. Dr. Dan, hate you, hate everything you do. Don't even like being in this room with you. You're lucky twans between you and me, but favorite match I've ever had with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate. We have had not the greatest luck of good matches in
No,
AIW,
yeah, it's-
but
Yeah, that's what it is. Luck, huh?
That was luck, Steve. Every time we plan a good one, or we go out there and we just we're
You
gonna
know,
go and make magic happen. It just
it's,
never clicks till this night.
You want to talk about clicking? Some of the people,
Woof.
yeah.
The Duke is still bitching about this
I was gonna
match.
say
He's
Duke was
still
hot
angry.
I'm on
this,
Duke's
right?
team now, personally. After the events of the previous weekend, before recording this right here and now.
I think Duke was just a little embarrassed that he was playing coach during the tryout and then had a fucking shitty match.
Yeah. Well,
was,
you get what you got. I had a good
was-
time, and
All the pieces, parts that looked good. So
Yeah.
that's best we
started
can say
strong,
about
finished
that.
strong.
I will say this though, I did commentary on it and I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was enjoyable and fun. And the Duke just has been just trying to sell me on the fact that it was bad for months at this point. So I don't know.
I'll agree with him with regards to one human in the match.
But I ain't gonna lie. Riley Reed's move right there.
Riley,
On
Ryder.
Riley.
Ryder.
Ryder.
I don't care
can't.
what his name is. That goddamn move he did on me.
Was it the senton or the?
Oh, that weird mother. Whoa.
Pile driver.
The Ron
Yeah.
Pile Driver, yeah.
I was like, what was that? Almost knocked me out.
Exactly.
Almost knocked you
Jesus
right out.
Christ. Where you get that move from? A video game?
Oh yeah.
Tony Hawk's Pro
19?
Skater, bro.
Oh, hell no. I ain't playing that game again.
Thug.
I ain't even doing that.
But it was cool to be in the ring with Kikutaro, which
Yeah, that was wild.
there's one checklist I've always
I was gonna say, how do you not have a fun match with Kikutaro?
that was so much fun. It was. I should have gotten a Japanese translated pamphlet though. Maybe could have read it. I saw his Facebook was
Gotten him
in,
on board.
his Facebook was in pure Japanese. So when I looked on his phone when he was trying to show me a video, later on in the night, and I'm looking at it like, whoa, I should have just made that an entire Japanese pamphlet for you.
He has two phones. One phone is like an American phone, and then he also has a Japanese phone number. And he sometimes goes back and forth from what he texts me from, but he can spell English and talk English. And he's kind of forced my hand to have to book him again because he ordered a fucking Tanaka Major League 2 baseball jersey.
yeah, I loved that.
And he just sent me a photo of it the other day. So he says, I must come back to Cleveland now.
Marbles.
Yeah, he loves marbles.
That's my
Fun
favorite.
fact: I've seen Major League 2 so many more times than Major League 1.
I got it over there on the DVD, brother.
Where you at on Major League 3, man? Back to the minors.
Back to the minors.
Nah.
Tanaka also in that.
Scott Bakula.
Tanaka's in that. Tanaka's in that with Pedro. They're in the minors, and Scott Bakula. Yeah, not as much.
Leave the
of a
memories
fan.
alone, man.
The Bees, I think is the team there. I love.
That's like that Slapshot sequel.
Tanaka's like my favorite underrated character in Major League lore. Him and old Rube Baker, like him too. Next match we go into, little martial arts action going on. Lewis Lyndon and TKD. A lot of swinging
So this
Kicks
was,
and
this was
roundhouses.
TKD's match that he wanted. I typically will ask, guys who they want to wrestle.
Yeah.
New students that are kind of getting out there a little bit, and this was TKD's request. So he got the match that he wanted.
How'd you feel about it? Did you watch it?
I thought it was very good. I thought he did good.
It was a moment of growth, I guess, for lack of better terms, for TKD. Because Lewis Lyndon is that veteran that we put out there. When we bring guys in, we've talked about it many times on this podcast. When we bring guys in and we think, man, who do we have them work with so that we know we're going to get an excellent match. Immediately we go Lyndon, of course. He's the consummate professional. So this is kind of like, hey, this is the guy that you're being thrown in with for TKD.
Yeah, I'll go down forever saying Lyndon is the most underrated wrestler out there today. Forever. I'll say that forever.
Yeah.
John Thorne, though. What's up with me, man?
You got
Yeah,
You got some time to put in, brother.
Yeah, you got some time to put in for your
Got some time to
Lyndon.
put- Oh, no, I don't want to face him. No. You never asked me who I want to face, man. What's
Oh.
up?
That's because you've been having a series of bad matches, man.
Well, damn, why don't you tell me?
I just did 15 minutes ago.
No, personally, you don't ever text me, man. Like, what's up?
I don't got a cell phone, brother.
You got it right there. Hold on. No.
That's a pager.
Wow.
You gotta earn. You gotta
Pager.
You gotta earn having my number, man.
I gotta earn it.
You gotta earn it,
He
man.
wants the messenger. Why you give him the messenger?
No, say less, Jonathan. I got you, bro.
You gotta earn having my phone number, Twan.
I got you, man. Say less.
Who do you want?
Who I want?
Yeah.
Tank Man.
Who?
Tank Man.
Calvin Tankman?
Calvin Tankman?
Yup.
The Tank Man?
Yup.
How about I get you Razor Sharp?
You're holding his belt, man. He probably wants it.
Please, no. Oh, no. I do like his name song, though. That's lit.
So you don't want to be the third man when Weird World takes on the Rip City shooters?
No,
The
man,
Razor City shooters?
No, that's their problem. I don't want to get involved with that.
All right.
We're mixing universes here, guys.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Next one we roll into the AIW Intense Championship, originally supposed to be a singles match, one-on-one. It turns into a triple threat because Chase Oliver reveals he's got an injury, has to have surgery, and so rather than just getting your Intense Champion Matthew Justice and Wheeler Yuta, Trey Lamar gets inserted into the mix.
This is a wild one.
This was a wild one. It was all over the place, and Matthew Justice not holding back on Wheeler and Trey Lamar, just as you figured he would not.
I like, Wheeler Yuta's a guy that's, having low key, having some impressive showings.
Absolutely. Big fan of Wheeler Yuta.
I love him. That match in Akron, when Justice started hitting with the chair, and he was just keeping that submission hold on. It was that place came unglued for that. It was awesome.
Yeah, people were hot for this one pretty much like the entire time. They went off a table or something from in the crowd? They teamed up, double suplex.
Matt into
from the bleachers?
From the bleachers through a table that actually belonged to the shrine, and me knowing in the back of my head, we got to get this out of the building and hidden immediately.
It didn't work.
At the end of the night, the guy goes, that one was already broken anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, they probably made
They're pretty laid back
so
over
much
there.
money.
Yeah, those $4 Bud Lights tell you
I
what.
went to the Tadmore Shrine Circus not that long ago. When I was looking for a parking spot, there were some Shriners talking about wrestling
Is that
happening
where you
at their
went to the
venue.
circus?
Yeah, they promote their own circus.
Okay.
It's not there though. They
Oh.
rent the arena down there.
Oh, gotcha.
But
Interesting.
They keep all those elephants down in like Cincinnati or some shit.
I think they just book like an indie circus to come in.
Oh, so there's no way for us to get any of those animals for like one of our shows, maybe?
I'm sure you can. I don't know if they use
I saw what happened to Siegfried and Royd, man. I'm not no tigers, man.
Yeah, but what if you like rode in on an elephant or something? That'd be pretty sweet, right?
I rode on an elephant once.
But like
At
not to the
Kalahari,
ring.
though. No.
We're getting on a tangent, but they
Sorry.
did elephant rides and intermission for $10.
I remember when I was a little kid, I saw an elephant take a shit on a midget. That was pretty crazy.
Imagine we have Swoggle riding to the ring on an elephant.
That's probably
He
very
doesn't do
expensive.
heights.
Yeah, that's probably very
Also,
expensive.
you see the doorways on the places we're working at.
That's true. Elephants are pretty tall.
Can't even get a steel cage in there, brother.
Yeah, that's fair.
If we tried, we could. It's
I mean,
not great
after
for the
this
fans.
Dumbo movie comes out, I'm sure the midget elephant market's gonna like fucking boom. No.
Well, we'll see. Swoggle's constantly looking for ways to reinvent himself. So
There you go. You can be Danny DeVito's character. Next one we roll into more of the picking of the poisons. Old Dominic Guarini chooses his rival, one-time rival, I should say, in foe, Tom Lawlor, to take on Joshua Bishop.
Tom Lawlor took a hell of a picture with me by accident.
with the backstage photography.
Yeah.
You like that one?
Yeah, that thing. I think it's actually my Tinder header right now.
Oh, there you go.
Do people think that they're getting Tom Lawlor, or do they think they're getting
Tom
No,
Lawler's
Tom
back-
Lawler's back. It's his back's to the camera.
Oh,
so you're
okay.
just getting me looking real good. You know, the singlet doing all the work in the world.
It's very pro looking too, so they probably think you're a fake profile. You know, like all the gals on there.
Yeah.
Do you pay for premium?
Oh hell no.
Dan does.
I do not. I've not been on there in a solid
20 minutes.
2 years.
I would
don't
delete
know.
that thing like every like 3 or 4 months.
Winking.
You get frustrated, huh?
No,
It's just
Dan
fucking-
said he's not been on there in 2 years.
I know. That's
There's
why
the same.
that's
Well, it's
why-
like you just fucking find out how fucking
Always
boring
on the
everyone
road.
is, but that's a whole other story.
He's always on the road.
That's right.
I actually came up with a whole list the other day. I didn't tweet it out, but it was a list of people I swipe left on.
Oh. Who keeps a list? That's weird.
You keep a list?
I had a well, I was
Like
going to
you-
fire it out as a tweet. Let's see here: nurses, axe throwing photos.
Oh, like what they do.
Cleveland baseball
Oh,
fans,
okay.
anyone in the Cleveland DSA, take me on an adventure, photos of unaccompanied children, tailgaters, OSU Browns, Steelers, any, Facebook memes, vacation photos, eternally wet curly hair with or without eyebrow ring. Those are all hard lefts.
we were thinking that you kept a list of like their names.
No,
Like their profiles. Like that's weird. Okay, so those
Some
are
of those
people.
tailgating girls are hot though, aren't they?
Yeah,
not my scene.
well, that's true.
Drinking outside is not your scene.
I got Horrible Fest coming up, brother. We got a hot tub.
Oh,
Yeah, a lot of them
Jeez.
go to. A lot of them don't even go to the sporting events worldwide. They just
I know-
drink.
I know this is a
before.
tangent, but you don't have Horrible Fest and J-Lit going back to back. What are you going to do?
Well, we do have Guido's Beer Bash.
Probably live.
Oh, yeah.
That's Saturday night, but actually that's going to work out fine because I can just like miss most of Saturday and then just come to the after show.
Are you just going to sit in the hot tub the whole time again?
I'll have the egg timer again this year. You know, nice
All right,
like
yeah.
no more than 25 minutes at a time with 10 to 15-minute breaks.
So, what do you guys think of the Josh Bishop Josh Bishop Tom Lawlor match?
It was fun as
They hit each other hard.
They did. They did hit each other hard.
Yeah, they were bringing the ruckus.
There was
the motherfucking ruckus even.
Josh Bishop was so nervous. So nervous.
Well, he did have that one tweet leading into the thing.
yeah, well,
He had fucking room to be nervous.
yeah, he's
Oh yeah.
You want
Josh.
to poke that tiger.
Well,
And
Josh Bishop's been poking a lot of tigers. And I had to pull him aside and say, "Hey, shit that like is personal and you think is funny is not funny to the person that it's personal to. You know, like you gotta fucking be careful." And he is just young and dumb and doesn't understand.
Out of control. The he took a lesson from you. You sent him some tape, and he pulled out one of the new moves you sent him.
Did he?
Yeah, the Mike Enos move.
Did he?
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
he told Tom he totally had tried it before. Never.
Fucking power slam. thing?
Yeah, from the second
I'm
row.
still pitching him on the top rope bitch.
How did it
Bishop
look?
bomb.
It looked awesome.
Oh, okay, that's good.
CPA popped really hard for it. Me and him were watching the match together.
I like CPA. He's a good guy.
He's a good dude.
Drove by himself this time.
I like him.
Well, then we go main event of the evening, absolute championship match. Hot Sauce Tracy Williams defending his title against Pretty Boy Smooth.
Big test here for Pretty Boy Smooth. There's a lot of people that said this wasn't that there were better options, and I'm not saying there are or there aren't better options, but it's like, hey, let's give it a shot and see what happens. I figured, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
It doesn't work, we just switch it. And if it does work, we got a guy that's, in the hunt. But PB's a guy that is like, okay, you're not going to know until you try it out.
Try it out, we did.
And, like I said, we were kind of put in this position, Tracy Williams signs his contract. There was no plan for him to lose the title. And it's, you gotta roll with things how they unfold. And, this was the match that we had set up, and, I could have switched it, but I felt that at that point, people would have seen it coming a million miles away. I felt that, nobody thought that PB Smooth was going to win, no matter what
It
the.
was definitely a solid reaction at the end, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody thought that they were going to see that. I think also nobody thought that we would switch a title and the quote unquote secondary market of Akron. So
Like on a dang house show. Well, not a house show.
there was a lot of there's a lot of things going into where it's like, oh, maybe I should have made the drive from Cleveland. Maybe like throw that out there.
Gotta keep your head on a swivel.
So, there's a lot of different things going into it, and
Time will tell or has been told.
that's right. I think it's been told, and it's up to you guys now to let me know what you thought.
Well, from there we roll to the after party spot
I don't think we're going back there again.
of jerseys.
Dr. Dan.
Not going back to the jerseys, or is it Tadmore Shrine?
I don't know. I think my behavior. I have been on pseudo sabbatical,
Oh Lord,
and
forgot about
this was my last get out of sabbatical free card, and I spent it real hard.
Worldwide
Tell you what,
gets the
because
Taco
we
Bell
got
buffet.
there.
Well, first let's start. There's there was one bar that was going to give us money, but they already had a party lined up that night, and they couldn't get us in the building.
Well, we got to get them in advance next time.
It goes. The guy already told me. He goes, the next time you have a date, call me as soon as you know, and we'll get it set up. I called every bar within a 20-mile radius to that place, and a bunch of places were like, "Oh, it's a trial run, and come in," and everything always just pointed back to Jersey's where we were going to get some free food, and that was the the best deal that we could have gotten. And
Did we get food?
We got no food.
We got no food.
So
I was not there to ask.
I pulled a next level, I was like, feeling it. And also, people were hungry, this and that. So I said, super
Baller ass move for worldwide here.
It was a very baller ass mood.
It really
because
was.
everyone was hungry, everyone was pissed. And I fucking
I've never
basically-
seen worldwide ball so hard, to be perfectly honest.
I took fucking $45 out of my wallet, and
Wow.
I fucking super fan John Batts. I was like, what's the closest fucking place to here? And it was either Wendy's or Taco Bell. And then something happened with the Wendy's. Oh yeah, they were closed. It was like midnight or whatever.
Fucked me out of food.
Well, hey, I made it a point because here was the thing. Because I was like, I believe I got 3 grande boxes from Taco Bell.
Yeah, that sounds
3 grande boxes. So $40 worth of fucking food and shit. And I made it a point to have at least 5 tacos with no lettuce. So it was just going to be beef and cheese. And I was like, this will work for the palate of fucking Thorne.
Nope.
No.
He's never had
He
taco
didn't,
in his
but
life.
it didn't even
Too
matter because
exotic.
we didn't even get to that point because they
You want to know what I had to do? I had to fucking have Dave the Potato drive me to a McDonald's so I could listen to him cry about his life while I ate a 20-piece nugget in his car, drunk.
Well, so either way, we roll in with these boxes.
I did
Everyone's
offer to
fucking
give you a
buying
ride
shots,
home.
buying beers, this and that, and Justice and his friend, they grabbed some out and just started eating at the table, and then some manager at Jersey's fucking jagoff is like, "Oh, you can't just bring this food in here." I was like, "Well, what's up with your kitchen?" He's like, "It's closed," and I was like. So then we proceeded, me and several fans and some of the boys were just slamming this shit outside. And I mean,
That's when you started tagging me on social media, and I didn't know what was going on because I went back with the ring to make sure it was put away properly.
Yeah.
And all I see is Worldwide throwing Taco Bell at his phone. And I'm like, what is going on
every
down there?
which way. It
and
was
also,
a tornado.
allegedly, did you or did you not throw away pint glasses in the bathroom?
Oh yeah, I was just being a very bad boy. All over.
I heard about
It's
that.
out of hand.
I got a text about that actually.
I did help clean up the bar area as we're getting everybody out of there, just because I had a hunch that there were some things that probably were going sideways and made us not look so great. So I was like, well, let me help here. I cleaned up a lot
Are
of
we
Taco
really
Bell
missing
wrappers.
anything? AIW fans, please pipe in the comments on the Twitter and such. Wouldn't you like to try someplace new? Well, guess what? We got to
Yeah.
try someplace new next time we're in
Potentially,
Akron.
no, we're not. But the bartenders did take care of us, and they were very nice.
I
and-
tipped them,
and
you
they
know.
stayed open because usually they close at 11 or something. There.
Well, the one place that's in the area of where the shrine is.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called, but I called them and they were like, "Oh yeah, one of your guys was in here talking to us, but we close at 9." I'm like, if you stay
That
open,
Crazy chicken. That's what that
yeah,
place
that's
is
it.
called.
Is there it is? And I was like, what do you mean you stay open till 2 and make a lot of money?
yeah.
That's the thing.
Alabama Doink would stay open. He likes to make money.
Well, we were
Pour it
there.
out, pour one out for Alabama. Like, oh no, here it comes.
Out there in the cosmos.
It was other than that, it was a
Oh, no.
decent,
Oh,
solid
no.
little after party though. other than
It was
that,
a good time. Wardlow was brother
Wardlow
feeding
was-
him some tequila and such.
hanging out. Yeah,
And then I guess that's a wrap on.
that was Hail to the King, baby.
We all met Harley Race.
Yeah,
Yes.
Awesome.
Magnum CK was super excited to have met him and got so many things signed.
He was amazed. He was on a pin. I remember that.
Yeah,
Harley Race was.
Yeah.
he loved those Pollyanna pins. I should have took a picture of him holding one. I totally forgot. I gave him a bunch to take home. And it was like it's so funny, like how people like react around a guy like that, like just because Harley Race is just a man through and through. Like Harley Race is in a wheelchair, getting wheeled out to his car, like super old, like
Still scary.
scary, but like not what he was.
Yeah.
And a guy walks by with whiskey and was like Harley, and like gives him the little cheers or whatever, and the guy was like, Harley fucking appreciates I'm drinking whiskey right now, even though like Harley Race had no idea, but like just like that, like that presence of him. Like everyone was just like wanted to like the testosterone was flowing because Harley Race was in the building.
I
I'll
like
say
that Magnum took an NWA world title for him to sign. I don't know if it was Magnum's or his friends, but
It was Magnum got one to get it signed.
Was he like, where'd you get a hold of this?
yeah, it's like, how did you get that or something? Asking if he earned it. But no, I'm really appreciative of Harley Race making the drive up. That was really nice.
He flew.
It's just some inside jokes there. Just throwing that one out there. Just one
Boo,
more
Steve, boo.
one more fun one to John Thor.
I think we'll wrap it up on that.
We will.
Yeah.
Well, for Dr. Dan, Big Twan, Worldwide, and John
Suck it,
Thorne,
jerseys.
my name is Steve Guy. We'll talk to you next week here on The Card is Going to Change.
Thanks.